right. Here we are again, playing our dangerous game of IELTS listening.
Weakest side of me and many person, I believe.
The downfall of everybody, the listening of IELTS. Last Tuesday we did the maps. Let's go back into the maps. Let's see if we can figure out anything from that. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that for a second. All right, let's get into it. Hello, KAPLAN test. I like the KAPLAN for IELTS. I don't know why.
Do you know kaplans mean in Turkish?
No idea.
Kaplans mean is tiger in Turkish.
Oh, well, there you go. I thought it was Aslan.
Aslan is lion.
Oh, so KAPLAN is the tiger.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Did not know that. Always learning something new. Let's get. Okay.
By the way,
Yes,
are you struggling that don't know Turkish properly? Only you have to talk many people in your life without your. How can you handle that?
Yeah, I'm having trouble speaking to my mother-in-law in Turkish, but that's. She's a lot, mother-in-laws are smart because once she realizes that I know some Turkish, she just changes all the words and I don't know anything again. So that's just the way my mother-in-law is.
I mean, how can you manage, for example, the supermarket process?
The supermarket's not a problem if they only speak 2 or 3 words. I can say pain there varma or some kind of shit like that. But I mean, it's not good if they start talking to me. If they start talking to me, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Today we're going to look at something called a flow chart and how we complete that. How do I recognize a flow chart? Question includes a series of boxes.
Give me 1 second, sir.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm looking flow chart exact translation. Okay.
Okay. I'll put it there too to help you out a little bit. It helps. I'll just put that there. But like I said, well, that's opening up. We can just come back to that later. It has a series of boxes or circles connected by lines or arrows. So it kind of looks something like this.
Okay.
And it has, these are the arrows, right? And here are some of the boxes. So if you see something like this on an IELTS, you know that you're probably at a flow chart.
Yes, I am using that, but first time I will manage one of them through English.
Okay, so today we'll learn about that for listening. Some of the information KAPLAN says is already in there. So there you go. You could see that some of the boxes have been filled in for you, but there's a blank there. Now, with this flow chart, you can only write one word for each answer. So if you were to write 2 words, you can guarantee that you got it wrong. So all of these answers are just one word. So KAPLAN wants to make sure you understand. Can you write a number for any answer on this question? No. Can you write 3 words for any answer? No, not on this question. This one. How many stages are there to the process? Well, it looks like there is 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then finally, It asks you to look at the three of the questions have verbs or verb forms as answers. Which three of the verbs? Okay. Like an action. And, well, which one of the questions has an adjective as an answer? Or can you predict what you think the answer to question 1 will be? So we'll get into these in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to listen to how it works, all right? Before we start predicting, all right? And then we'll break it down, okay, and try to predict. So first, let's just listen. Here we go.
Okay.
Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable.
Don't be mad, sir. It will open as soon as possible.
You will hear part of a radio broadcast featuring a traditional cultural recipe. You have 30 seconds to look at questions 1 to 8.
So in this 30-second time, you have to try to predict things. Well, maybe they say try to predict what you think a teaspoon of what. I don't know. Crack eggs one at a time and keep, well, here might be something. Keep doing what? Pour mixture into cheesecloth bag or pantyhose or
Welcome to In the Kitchen. Today we'll be continuing our weekly series on traditional foods from Eastern Europe, with a focus on Slovakia and the special homemade cheese called Sidek. That's spelled C-I-R-A-K. This cheese is traditionally made in the days before Easter and served as part of an Easter breakfast. From about 1880 to 1920, about 500,000 Slovaks emigrated to the United States, settling in large numbers in Pennsylvania and Ohio. They brought their tradition of making this special Easter cheese, which was a way of keeping the customs of the old country alive in the New World. This particular recipe for Sidek was sent in by one of our listeners, Helen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who says that she has fond memories of helping her grandmother make the cheese and serve it to the family when they got home from church on Easter morning. To make your Sidek, you will only need a few ingredients: 4 cups of milk, 12 eggs, and a teaspoon of salt. Pour the milk into a large mixing bowl, then place the bowl atop a saucepan that is about half filled with water. Next, you'll want to heat the saucepan over a low to medium flame so that the steam from the saucepan will warm the milk in the bowl. Now, be careful not to get the milk too hot. We don't want it to boil. Once the milk is warm, start cracking the eggs one at a time, stirring them into the milk. Helen says that it's essential to keep stirring as you add the eggs, otherwise they will scorch. After adding all the eggs, continue stirring until what you have in the bowl looks like scrambled eggs. The next step is to drain off the liquid. To do this, you need to pour the mixture into a cheesecloth bag, tie it off, and hang it over the sink for an hour or 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where can I get a cheesecloth bag? Helen reports that when her grandmother couldn't get a cheesecloth bag, she would use a pair of pantyhose.
What?
Can you scroll down?
Sure. Okay.
Facing this step.
And they work just as well. For our British listeners, those are known as tights. Anyway, once you've drained the cheese in your cheesecloth, or pantyhose, or tights, you need to compress it to force out any remaining liquid. Put the cheese, still in the cheesecloth, under the flat side of a pan, such as a cast iron skillet, just like you were putting the skillet on the stove, but instead, put it on the cheese. Put a cooling rack on top of the skillet, and place something heavy on top of the cooling rack. Helen recommends using several heavy cans on top of the cooling rack. This will distribute the weight onto the skillet, and the skillet will press the last of the liquid out of the cheese. After 2 hours, you can remove the weight, the skillet, and the cheesecloth. You will need to refrigerate the cheese overnight before it is ready to eat. You'll want to slice your Slovak cheese and serve it with horseradish sauce for an authentic and very traditional Easter treat.
Okay.
Oh, it is way harder than others.
Okay. Well, the reason why it's hard is because you have to predict a little bit more than you would probably the other thing. If you can guess what they're going to say, or from the blanks, what you should listen for, then.
Okay, I have some.
Now, what would you put here? Now, do you know what a teaspoon is?
Salt.
Right. So salt is definitely the answer there. So since we can only put one word there, we'll just put salt. All right, good. And how about number 2? Pour milk into a bowl and place above a blank half filled with water.
I heard it, but I couldn't understand what she said.
That's all right. Well, look, okay. Blank the milk, but take care not to get it too hot.
How can I say? Boil the milk, I believe.
No, not boil. So that one, we'll have to listen to it again. Crack eggs one at a time and keep into the milk.
Keep pour.
No. All right, so we'll listen to that one again. Pour mixture into a cheesecloth bag or pantyhose or.
I didn't understand what she said in this part.
Okay.
This specific name.
Do you know what pantyhose are?
No, I don't know what
right,
is.
Let me show you what that is first. Let's start off with that. All right. Now, it doesn't make any sense that a guy would know what a pantyhose is because we don't wear pantyhose. But if you asked what women what they are, they'll be glad to tell you what it is because they know it better than we do. All right. That's pantyhose. Okay. Now, it's something that women wear over their legs or something like that. Now,
what's the point? She took this into a recipe.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the British don't call it pantyhose; they call it something else. They call it this. Tights.
But its same condition is valid in this part. What is the point? Pantyhose or tights in the recipe? It is telling us making a cheese, and right. I don't know what is mentioned.
The reason, right? So, well, it says it right here. It gives us this information to drain the liquid. Okay, so what the problem is, we don't know what drain means. So let's look at the word drain.
Emptying process.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what's the point of the pantyhose? Well, the point of the pantyhose there was to drain
into pantyhose.
No. Hold on for a second. Not drain into pantyhose. I'll tell you 1 second. Give me 1 second. The reason why they use the pantyhose is because they want to drain the liquid from the cheese that they're making. Okay, so they're draining this. They're getting rid of the water. So that
draining cheese into what?
No. How do I say this to you? So, hold on for a second. I'll try to explain it, but I don't know if I can. So they have this step here, okay, and when you finish it, okay, there's milk there's eggs and everything else, okay? So that milk, right, is kind of like a liquid there. So they pour that mixture, okay, with milk and eggs into this.
She's draining this liquid
Right,
thing into pantyhose because it mentioned into chair cyclot bag or pantyhose
right,
drain over sink for 1 hour 2 hours.
right,
It like a making process of yogurt.
right. That's exactly right. If you ever had that dish I love very much, jajik, um,
Yes,
okay. Now they have to take the liquid from the yogurt there. It's kind of the same thing here. They kind of drain the liquid out.
it's draining into pantyhose and beating it and then
Well, I don't know if it's beating it, but I mean it's getting the liquid out. All right, so we know that. All right. Now the only reason why they use say pantyhose, right, is because you might not have this a cheesecloth bag.
I don't know what is it.
All right, I'll show you what that is too.
Kaplan's book is really hard.
Cheesecloth bag. Bag. I said fucking bag, and here it's what that looks like. See it? Now you've
Uh,
probably seen that.
I got it.
Okay, you've probably seen something like this at a bazaar.
Yes. My mother making yogurt every week, and I know what is it.
Okay, that's a cheesecloth bag.
Okay, cheesecloth bag. Okay,
Okay.
I will use it.
All right. Now next, there's this word compress under the flat side of a pan with something on top for 2 hours.
Can I listen this part?
Yeah, we're going to listen to it again, so we didn't remember that part, okay? Refrigerate the cheese.
1 and 2 hour.
No. And slice and blah with horseradish sauce.
Slice and service. I remember it.
Well, service is not what we want, but that was the closest one, all right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to listen for the answers again, all right? We won't be able to do this during the IELTS, but I'll stop it, where the answers are. Here we go.
Okay.
You will hear part of a radio
with a focus on Slovakia and the special home cheese called Sidik. That's spelled C-I-R-A-K. This cheese is traditionally made in the days before Easter and served as part of an Easter breakfast. From about 1880 to 1920, about 500,000 Slovaks emigrated to the
See, now, they always end up giving you a lot of information on IELTS. Now, you don't really need this information because you just need to fill out the process here. But IELTS always gives you information. All right? So
she's pouring
United States
onto me.
Settling
yeah, it's boring.
in large numbers in Pennsylvania and Ohio. They brought their tradition of making this special Easter cheese, which was a way of keeping the customs of the old country alive in the New World. This particular recipe for Sidik was sent in by one of our listeners, Helen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who says that she has fond memories of helping her grandmother make the cheese and serve it to the family when they got home from church on Easter morning. To make your Sidik, you will only need a few ingredients. 4 cups of milk, 12 eggs, and a teaspoon of salt.
Okay, so that one was absolutely right. Good for you. Okay? So,
Yes.
now we're listening for this.
Okay.
Pour the milk into a large mixing bowl, then place the bowl atop a saucepan that is about half filled with water.
It's passed this part so quick. I couldn't understand. And actually, I don't know what is the exact word.
Okay, that's right. We'll listen to it again real quick.
I can write it, but
It's okay.
I don't know what is it.
Home from church on Easter morning. To make your Sedic, you will only need a few ingredients. 4 cups of milk, 12 eggs, and a teaspoon of salt. Pour the milk into a large mixing bowl, then place the bowl atop a saucepan that is about half filled with water.
Saucepan.
Next, you'll want
Right.
What
You
is
got
it?
it. I'll show you what it is. It's one of those flat. You'll know it as soon as you see it. Saucepan. Okay. Now you've seen these before. Yeah. Right. Saucepan.
I haven't heard it. It's
Yeah, that's a
first time.
saucepan. Okay. So you've seen it though. I mean, you've seen these things.
Yes,
before.
I'm using it in daily life, but in English, I know what is it now. Saucepan. Okay.
All right. So that we'll just put that there too. So we can still do that. Can we use that? Yes. It's one word. So we're gonna use it. So sauce, and we'll use it. All right. So that takes care of process number 2. Now we're going to go to process number 3 here. See what
Put
this
the milk,
says.
probably.
to heat the saucepan over a low to medium flame so that the steam from the saucepan will warm the milk in the bowl. Now,
Warm the milk.
be
But I said, I guess, warm.
Yeah, you said boiling the milk.
Yes.
So boiling is
More, giving
Right.
more
boiling.
temperature.
Assholes. I didn't say spoiling. Boiling. That's boiling. See it?
Yes. Warm is lower, represent lower temperature.
Right. It's a lot lower. Okay, so that's just okay. Now, crack eggs one at a time. Do you know what that means?
Instantly or simultaneously.
Yeah. Breaking the outside of the egg, so like cracking. Okay. Now we're gonna look and keep something into the milk. All right. Let's see what they say.
careful not
Put
to
it.
get the milk too hot. We don't want it to boil. Once the milk is warm, start cracking the eggs one at a time, stirring them into the milk. Helen says that it's essential to keep
Starving.
stirring.
What is mean, sir?
All right. Let's put that down there.
Starve is
The word that you're looking for is to stir. No.
stir. Yes.
To stir. You fucking asshole. Stir.
Mixing.
Karıştırmak.
Okay, so stirring. Oh my God. Stirring the milk.
Sir, you should use.
Stirring.
I get it. Never mind.
All right, you got it. All right. I guess I'm so tired. Google even doesn't understand me. Okay, so stirring. Let's see if I can spell that right. Stirring.
These verbs is hardest one for me.
Hold on for a second. I spelled it all wrong. Hold on, the teacher spelled the fucking stirring wrong. Oh, it's 2 R's. No wonder why I fucked it all up. All right. All right. Stirring. STIRRING. So that's 2 R's.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, pour mixture in. Okay. Now we look at this. Let's hear what if we can figure out what they mean saying here.
As you add the eggs, otherwise they will scorch. After adding all the eggs, continue stirring until what you have in the bowl looks like scrambled eggs. The next step is to drain off the liquid. To do this, you need to pour the mixture into a cheesecloth bag, tie it off, and hang it over the sink for an hour or two.
Tile toft.
Now,
Oh,
I know what you're thinking. Where can I get a cheesecloth bag? Helen reports that when her grandmother couldn't get a cheesecloth bag, she would use a pair of pantyhose, and they worked just as well. For our British listeners, those are known as tights. Anyway, once you've drained the cheese in your
tile toft or something like this, she said, but
Yeah, just tights. So,
tight. Yes.
okay. All right, now compress under the flat side of a pan with something on top of it for 2 hours. Let's see here.
cheesecloth or pantyhose or tights, you need to compress it to force out any remaining liquid. Put the cheese, still in the cheesecloth, under the flat side of a pan, such as a cast iron skillet, just like you were putting the skillet on the stove, but instead put it on the cheese. Put a cooling rack on top of the skillet and place something heavy on top of the cooling rack.
What is it? I don't know either. All of this word is foreign to me, strange to me.
All right, let's look
Only
at that.
warm and salt are friendly to me, and I missed only one of them.
Okay, no problem. Skillet. That's a skillet.
Okay.
Okay. Also, cast iron skillet. Okay. That's that. I don't know if you have this. You might have seen something like that.
I don't
Okay.
have this.
Okay. A cooling rack. See it? Okay, something like this, right?
Yes. We called this as a nihale.
Nihale. Okay, I didn't know that. So they say first put this on top of it.
Into that,
Right.
and
Then put the cooling rack, something like this, on top of that. Then what do you do? What do you put on top of this?
I don't know, but main point is cooling process.
Well, the main point is the draining process to get rid of something.
But she's already drained it into.
Right, but she says the remaining something. So the trick is there on top for the remaining. Okay, so the word that she was looking for is
She
something.
compressed it
Right,
with skillet
something heavy.
and
Yeah. So the only word that they're looking for there is heavy. Something heavy on top for 2 hours. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Now refrigerate the cheese.
1 or 2 hours, I guess.
Let's see. I don't think it's 1 or 2 hours. I think it's longer than that, but let's see.
Anyway, once you've drained the cheese in your cheesecloth or pantyhose or tights, you need to compress it to force out any remaining liquid. Put the cheese, still in the cheesecloth, under the flat side of a pan, such as a cast iron skillet, just like you were putting the skillet on the stove, but instead put it on the cheese. Put a cooling rack on top of the skillet and place something heavy on top of the cooling rack. Helen recommends using several heavy cans on top of the cooling rack. This will distribute the weight onto the skillet, and the skillet will press the last of the liquid out of the cheese. After 2
Can you
hours,
stop? She's putting skillet into cheese and putting onto skillet that heavy thing.
Well, not into the cheese. All right. So let's go back to that. That's a good
into or onto.
So I'll tell you what they're doing. Now, if you can see, there's something not here. This must be the inside, but she's saying the bottom of it. So picture having the cheese on the bottom, still in the cloth, and then resting this on top of it. You see what I'm saying? You put something like this on top of it, and then inside here, you put the rack, and then you put something even heavier on top of the rack, is what they're saying.
And where is the cheese now?
Underneath this pan.
Okay. She's pressing through that plus something heavy onto cheese.
Now, why is she doing that? To get rid of the last amount of water that's there. They want to drain out the water. So that's exactly right.
Okay.
So now we're going to figure out how long do you refrigerate the cheese? Let's see.
you can remove the weight, the skillet, and the cheesecloth. You will need to refrigerate the cheese overnight before it is ready to eat. You'll want to slice your Slovak cheese and...
All right, so there you got it, okay? So there you would have to refrigerate the cheese, what? So it can only be one word, overnight. Okay? That's it. And then you slice and what? You said not service, but serve.
Serve.
With
Yes.
horseradish sauce. Any questions?
No, sir. It is hardest lesson I ever seen.
All right, well,
because only 2 words I knew before, and I believe I am only missed one of them. Other ones strange to me, and I couldn't catch them. How doesn't matter how many I tried.
so that's that. Okay. Let's look at another type of listening. Okay.
Okay.
This type of listening, very common, somewhat common. It's called note completion questions. You know that it's a note completion question because it asks you to complete the notes like this. Right? There's some information that's missing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to complete that. Okay?
Okay. I will do my best.
This is pretty interesting. The notes are organized in some format, often a table or a box or a bulleted list. I'll show you what a bulleted list is in case you don't know what that is. A bulleted list. That's bulleted list.
Okay. Like onto bulletin board.
Well,
or sticky notes.
You see how they have this dot, 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 dot. They call those bullets.
Okay.
All right.
And user have to complete them.
Right. So again, like the flow chart, right? The no completion questions have some information there. Okay. You can see. Now again,
3 words.
right.
Or a number.
And or a number. So be careful here. You can write 3 words and a number, You can write 2 words and a number, 1 word and a number, but you cannot write 4 words and a number. And also, you do not have to write any words. Maybe the answer might be a number. So there's a lot of possibilities here. Okay. The the limit is 3 words and a number. So if you're writing,
And I won't use them together. I have to pick one of them.
can if you want to. You can write no more. You can write 4 things if that's what you think.
I mean, I can't use one word and one number together.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
You can use 2 words and a number together. You can use 3 words and a number together, but you cannot use 4 words and a number together.
Okay.
Okay. Let's listen first. Now, that word, I had to look it up because even I didn't know what the fuck that was. So I'll put that over there. I don't know who in God's name uses that.
Dead.
Okay.
Okay.
So like your Bidom, some they'll use what they call fet.
Carnival or something like that.
Okay.
English.
So when it says date of the fet, do you think you're going to be writing anything here?
Yes. 3 days later, for example.
Okay. Well, they might give you the date. So we'll see. Expected weather 22 degrees and something else. Okay.
And so maybe.
Okay. Fundraising purpose. Do we know what fundraising means?
It's the roof of the church, maybe.
Okay. Good.
Using-
Last year's tickets.
And each plus plus 1 discounted ticket or 3 discounted ticket or a number, but I don't know.
Some kind of number. Okay. Total from ticket sales.
Or last year, 500 maybe.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So we got 5 questions. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
You will hear a woman speaking to a group of people who are planning a village fete. You have 30 seconds to look at questions 1 to 5.
Thanks everyone for coming out tonight, despite it being so bright and pleasant out. And thank you for offering to help with running our village fete. We're only 3 days away from this year's fete, and hopefully the weather on the big day, Saturday the 19th, will be just as good as today. Currently, the forecast is calling for 22 degrees and plenty of sunshine. Let's hope that holds true. This year's village fete is in aid of repairing the roof in the village hall. We need to raise a total of £4,000 to pay for the roof repairs. That's our overall target. Last year, we sold 400 tickets for adults at £5 each, plus 300 discounted tickets for children, students and pensioners at £2.50 each. That comes to a total of £2,750 from ticket sales alone. Assuming similar figures this year, we'll need to bring in a minimum of £1,250 from the games and food sales to hit our overall target.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 6 to 10.
Okay, I couldn't hear only fifth one, and I can answer other ones.
ahead.
Date of the fate, 3 days later, or something like that.
Nope.
Okay. Expected weather, 22 degrees and shiny days or sunny days, sunny weather or
Almost. So I'm going to put almost. The question mark means almost.
Okay, in aid of the roof of the village hall.
Okay, we're going to check that out, okay?
430 and 300 discounted tickets.
Nope.
Oh, I couldn't heard fifth one, sir.
You might be right with this 300, but I thought I heard something else. But you
Okay.
could be right. All right, let's check again. You're usually right with those things. I wasn't even paying attention.
Okay.
To a group of people who are planning a village fete. You have 30 seconds to look at questions 1 to 5.
All right, really concentrate on this.
Thanks everyone for coming out tonight, despite it being so bright and pleasant out. And thank you for offering to help with running our village fete. We're only 3 days away from this year's fete, and hopefully the weather on the big day, Saturday the 19th, will be just as good as today. Currently, the forecast...
She said 3 days away. What is the difference 3 days later?
3 days away, but we don't. That's not the date that we don't know what the date is. So we're going to have to do it this way. Saturday. The 19th.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2. So this one you almost got it right.
Okay.
Forecast is calling for 22 degrees and plenty of sunshine.
Plenty of sunshine.
Yeah.
I almost got it.
That one you almost got. Plenty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that holds true. This year's village fete is in aid of repairing the roof in the village hall. We need to raise a total...
That one I think you got.
Yes.
Yeah, I put question mark, but that was wrong. Village hall. Yeah. That's very good. I would have got that one wrong.
of £4,000 to pay for the roof repairs.
Good.
That's our overall target. Last year, we sold 400 tickets for adults at £5 each, plus 300 discounted tickets
Excellent.
for children, students, and
Thank
pensioners.
you, sir.
Like I said, you were very good with that.
You're a lot better than I was. Like I said, I was just kind of like zoning out there. So that was great.
It is far easier than
You got 2 of those, and I thought
talking
sometimes you
receipt.
didn't get those, but you got them. Good for you.
Okay.
At £2.50 each. That comes to a total of £2,750 from ticket sales alone. Assuming similar figures this year, we'll need to bring in a minimum of
2,700.
£1,200
Hold on for a second.
alone. Assuming similar figures this year, pounds each, plus 300 discounted tickets for children, students and pensioners at £2.50 each. That comes to a total of £2,750 from ticket sales alone. Assuming similar figures this year, we'll need to bring in a minimum of £1,250 from the games and food sales to hit our overall target.
Too many numbers are.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 6 to 10.
Hold on, man.
£4,000 to pay for the roof repairs. That's our overall target. Last year, we sold 400 tickets for adults at £5 each, plus 300 discounted tickets for children, students and pensioners at £2.50 each. That comes to a total of £2,750.
Okay, so I've fucked it all up by 2,750 pounds. There it goes. So we'll just write pounds.
But it said ticket count, not money.
Ticket sales.
Sales rate. Okay.
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 Yeah. Let's try one more, and then
Okay.
we'll stop. All right. Now look at this map. All right. We're gonna look at this for a second. Let's see what the hell happens. Let's see if we can do it.
From ticket sales alone. Assuming similar figures this year, we'll need to bring in a minimum of £1,250 from the games and food sales to hit our overall target.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 6 to 10.
Oh, this word is strange to me. Okay, I will do my best, but it is. I believe I will fuck up.
Let's take a moment to explain the key locations for the fete. Entering from the car park, you'll take the path to the left, leading towards the Memorial Gardens. Before you reach the gardens, you'll come to the raffle. This will allow us to sell a lot of raffle tickets. Going on from the raffle, directly across from the Memorial Gardens is where we'll have the jam tasting. Our local jam makers have agreed to donate 10% of their sales at the fete, so that will help us reach our goal. Moving on from the jam tasting, as you come to the river, you'll find the face painting. We expect every child under the age of 10 to get their faces painted, but this activity is for children only. On the other side of the park, past the pond, we'll set up the band straight right on the edge of the river. Several great local bands have agreed to perform for free, so we'll have great tunes throughout the day. Next to the bandstand, heading back towards the car park, we'll have the drink stand. This will be right next to the kids' games, so we'll be able to sell drinks to those enjoying the music, and any parents and little ones who work up a thirst at the games. Again, all the kids' games are only for children. Except today, so everyone can compete. The races will take place between the kids' games and the car park. Unfortunately, we've had to discontinue the three-legged race for legal reasons. There were far too many injuries last year. That's why we're letting adults join in the egg and spoon race. It's £2 per person, so we expect that will really help us hit our goal. In terms of the kids' games, there are quite a few. The balloon burst, the chocolate throw, and of course, the always popular ladder game, where players throw beanbags in between the rungs of a ladder laid out on the ground. At last year's fete, the chocolate throw was the best liked and most played of the kids' games, and we expect it to be the same game this year. Kids throw a penny and it must land and stay on a chocolate bar. If it does, they win the chocolate. It's harder than it sounds. Last year, we charged 50p per throw, and we made £400 from that game alone.
Oh, it is hardest one.
All right, but we'll stop here. All right,
Yes, sir.
we'll stop here. We'll stop here. All right, because it's too much for one day. Let's stop here. All right,
Okay.
and we'll come back to this on Tuesday. Right.
Yes. And we will publish it simultaneously. I will figure out what is the